From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today on the Ticats Audio Network for this Thursday, June the 29th, 2023. And joining me on today's show is long snapper for the Hamilton Ticats, Gordon Whyte. Gordo, how you doing, man?
Good. Just been enjoying the bye week, taking some time off, letting the body recover, and spend some time with family, friends, the usual.
So where are you spending the bye week right now?
I'm born and raised in Toronto, and I live in Toronto actually during the season, so I commute. So I'm just in Toronto at my place downtown.
During the bye week, you're doing a little bit of training, kind of keeping the body right. What are you doing to do that?
Yeah, so I have a gym called Layler Performance Systems that I've been going to since I was probably in grade 11 of high school. And that's where I train in the off season. So it's nice that when I come home, I still have that gym to go to. So can kind of just spend the time in Toronto for the week. So I go up there probably 2 to 3 times during the bye week. And then they have a nice strip of turf down the middle. So I like to keep myself fresh snapping wise. But yeah, it's nice. It's like a 20-minute drive from my place. So I just go there during the bye week.
So yeah, being a long snapper, it's a unique position. Are there some weird workouts you're doing, maybe something different than most football players would do to keep your body right for that?
Yeah, it's more like the training aspect. I just train like because I was a linebacker my entire career, so I train basically how most others would train, like weight wise and running wise. But before and after, I usually have to get in a little more of like mobility work and strengthening of my hamstrings and stuff like that, and forearms, because those are the main things that kind of correlate to long snapping. So I kind of just have to, I'm in there a little longer because at the end of my workouts, I got to do a little extra stuff that most wouldn't have to do or some wouldn't think to do. So, but yeah.
So yeah, you're definitely stretching out the hammies really well if you're
Sure.
if you're doing that. I know mine would be gone if I tried to do one. So,
Yeah.
So other than that, when you're not training, what are you doing for fun, just to keep your, just to hang out when you're chilling with your buddies or whatever?
Yeah, I kind of get up to a lot. I love golfing, so I try and golf as much as I can, especially during this week. I've been trying to golf most days that I can. I play some video games too, so I like to do that when I'm on my downtime. I'm still trying to plan to go fishing one day.
Okay.
I fish quite a bit up at my cottage, and a couple of guys are on the team are trying to get a little something going. So I think we might be going up one of these days fishing somewhere in Hamilton. But other than that, just seeing family, trying to link back up with your friends that you haven't seen in a while. Got a girlfriend, so got to spend lots of time with her. And yeah, my dog too. I got a dog named Ollie, so we're always taking him for walks, and I get to spend a little more time with him because I'm usually gone for the majority of the day. So
Nice. So you said you're gaming a bit. What video games are you playing right now?
Call of Duty is the only thing I play right now.
COD?
Big Call of Duty guy. I used to play with Tunde and Stavros, but they kind of put the controller down for a little bit. So
Who's carrying the squad in those games? Is it you?
Tunde would have been, but if we're talking right now, I feel like it'd be me. But Tunde's probably the best player, but he put the controller down, so I don't know if he's gonna come back out of retirement or not. But
So does it help being you're in Toronto? So does it help being so close to the stadium?
yeah, I'm actually lucky because my that's where I am right now. Is my girlfriend's mom lives in Ancaster in Hamilton, so she's got her house here, and she actually made up a little guest bedroom for me whenever I need to use it. So kind of it's nice to have if like we're flying out the next day, so I don't have to wake up crack of dawn to come up. But majority of the time, like our last game we played at home, I would just come up on the day of, and then drive back right after. But I also take use of the GO train because it's like a 2-minute walk from my building in Toronto. So I sometimes do that, but it's kind of all over the place. But it is nice to have just to, because there's not like the first 2 seasons I was with Hamilton, I lived in Hamilton. And then I just ended up getting a year lease in Toronto, and that's where most of my stuff that I need is. So
Yeah.
commute's not too bad, but as long as you miss that traffic coming back, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to get stuck in that. It can make the drive a lot longer.
Mhm.
I read about you. You played hockey also growing up. Do you still play hockey here and there, or is it strictly football now?
Yeah, I played a lot of hockey growing up. It was kind of I got to a decision in I'd say grade 10 or 11 of high school where my parents were like, "You're high level hockey and high level football. You got to choose one because you can't keep riding." I was like a 3-sport athlete as long as I could, and then I had to make a decision. So obviously went with football, but I still ended up playing hockey at a lower level. But yeah, every once in a while, like during the off season, a lot of my friends have like pickup leagues and like beer leagues type thing. And whenever they need an extra guy, they'll message me. But I try and get out as much as I can just on the ice to kind of just play around and keep I guess the dream still alive, because it was always been a love of mine, still is. So I try and get out there when I can, but obviously got to put the football mentality first. So
yeah, I think you turned out pretty well with the football career. So I think it all worked out for you. One question I have for you: you decided to go out east to go to school. You went to X. What was your decision behind going to school out there, being from Toronto?
yeah, so I had actually never heard about St. Francis Xavier when I was doing the recruitment thing, but two of my coaches that coached me in high school at St. Mike's in Toronto, they both went to St. FX. So they told me about it. They showed me their X ring and stuff like that. And they kind of said, you should go check it out. Like, whether you like it or not, you should just go for a visit. It's beautiful out there. It's small class sizes. So I actually ended up like getting in touch with the coach, and they brought me out for a little visit with my family. And it was down to like, before I went to St. FX for the visit, I was going to either Western or Carleton. So two big name schools in the OUA.
Yeah.
And then I went out there, and within probably like 2 hours, I fell in love with it. Just like that, it has like a US college, like vibe with the football field right in the middle of the small town. And it's just a beautiful campus. Everything's walking distance. The class sizes are small. So me being like, when I grew up, I had a little bit of a learning disability. So I worked a lot with like accessible, like getting extra time on my tests and working with a lot of tutors. So that was huge for me. And they had a little kind of learning enrichment center there that would help you like get through school and stuff like that. So I did that, and yeah, it was awesome. Just small class size. So I knew everyone, I knew every face, I knew every teacher like really well. And the football program was great. Had a chance to start in my first year there. So that was obviously awesome. So yeah, ended up just deciding that. And I was a little bit nervous about it, but it ended up working out. So
did you end up getting the X ring in the end?
Yeah, I did. It's not on right now because I actually in my first season against Ottawa, I busted this knuckle up pretty badly.
Yeah.
So it's still busted up, and that's the finger I put my X ring on. So it doesn't really fit right now, but I got it.
It's on a shelf somewhere. Somewhere safe. That's good. Whenever you are at St. FX, at what point did you decide, or did you know that the CFL was becoming an option for you?
Yeah. So one of our, the special teams coach there, Jim Daly, he was a coach in the CFL for a long time. I was so grateful to get to be coached by him, and he was hard on me, but he was the main reason why he was like, you're a really good linebacker, but if you want a long career in the CFL and that ticket, like long snapping is what you got to do. And you got the perfect body type. And so he's like, make sure you keep working at that and don't put it as a backdoor. Cause when you're coming up, you're like, I don't want to be pinned as a long snapper. I'm a linebacker. Like no one likes just being a long snapper. And that's your mentality throughout. But then even in my first year in the CFL, I was like, can I do more? Like, I kind of want to do more. But like, he was the big heart on me, like, keep it going. You could have a 10+ year career in the CFL if you stay healthy and or keep doing what you're doing. So he was the main reason why, and he made me put a lot more emphasis on it when I was playing in the AUS. So, and then obviously did it at the combine, stuff like that. But he was the main like culprit and me pushing being a long snapper more. So,
well, definitely helped you make a career and a successful one so far in the CFL. So definitely a guy, a good suggestion by him. So now we're going to fast forward. You get drafted to the CFL, to the Hamilton Ticats. What's going through your head when you find out you're going to be playing close to home?
Yeah, so I was at home with my two of my best friends and my parents, and the draft was going. Obviously, I got picked in the last round, so I was a little bit bummed going to the 8th round. Like, oh no, like I might not get picked up. And then I think it was the 5th or 6th last pick. Hamilton picks me up, and that's where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. Like my dad, especially, because we're from Toronto, so my parents grew up Argos fans, so they had a little hope that I was going to go to the Argos, but I didn't want to go to the Argos because I just knew about Hamilton's fan base stuff. So I had a lot of chat with them. So I was hoping there was one more pick on the board for them. So I had my fingers crossed, and then got drafted, and it was just a crazy amount of emotion, just all the work and stuff. And yeah, it's nice being able to be close to home. So like tons of my friends and family can always come up to games, and easily accessible for obviously me, and staying with all my, like the gym back home and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an awesome day. But a little bit of stress running through my head, but then it all worked out in the end.
For sure. No, absolutely. And then I guess one memory I want to get from you is that first snap in the CFL. Where was it? Who was it against? What was going on there?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. So in university, you never had to block. Like there wasn't a rule where you can like, I could leave right before the ball was kicked. So I didn't have any blocking stuff. He just said snap and run straight downfield. And obviously in the CFL, the big change is like, you got to sit in the box and block.
Mm-hmm.
And my first ever snap was in Saskatchewan. It was packed. And we came out on the first, and they lined up, obviously on purpose. They lined up a like 320-pound defensive lineman, like in my A gap. And I'm just thinking like, oh, he'll just rush the gap. I just got to block and I'll have someone helping me. So I snapped the ball, and I was freaking out because when I'm like, first snap, like, let's put it on his body here, because you just have that first jittery nerve. And in Saskatchewan that year, it was packed to the brim. And I snapped the ball. I dropped back right when my head came up. They obviously told this 320-pound D lineman to just come straight at me and straight through me. And I was not ready for that. So he absolutely like picked me up off the ground and drove me back into the ground, laying on top of me. So that was the perfect, like, good. I needed it because it was like, okay, wake up. We're in the pros now.
Yeah.
But that was actually the first snap ever. I just got absolutely blown up by a big, huge defensive lineman. So
welcome to the CFL, eh?
Exactly.
So I'm going to fast forward to our team now. 0-3, obviously not the start we're looking for. Or you're looking for to start the season here. What do you think needs to be done maybe differently to start getting some wins on the board?
Yeah. So I think the main thing is just holding everyone accountable, like not just the coaching staff and the owners and stuff like that, but we as the players got to keep each other accountable. And whether it's the meeting room, practice field, even on game day, it just takes it's got to come from within. And I don't think there's a worry by anyone in the room, because we know the guys we got and the team we got. But yeah, they're just like little things like discipline on game days. You got to get rid of that. And then just holding each other accountable, I'd say, is the main thing, and not being nervous or scared to speak up for what you believe in or what you see. And it's all love, and everyone's got to know we're all teammates here. And, you know, if we got to do it within, and then we can start rolling. So.
Well, Gordon, I really appreciate you coming on to the show today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you out there on the field, man.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate the interview.
Big thanks once again to Gordon Whyte for being on the show today. Some quick news now before we go. The drone show that was supposed to happen last Friday but was postponed due to bad weather has been rescheduled for the Ticats' next game against the Red Blacks. That one goes down on July the 8th, and it will happen after the game. And also, there are only 2 days left for season ticket holders to get those early access Grey Cup tickets at a discounted price. So make sure to get those season tickets now if you're looking to get Grey Cup tickets at the best possible price. And Grey Cup tickets will go on sale to the general public July 1st. That's all the time for me today. I want to thank you for listening to Ticats Today.